So we're answering four music industry questions, and that's going to be by Taylor Swift's former manager. We answered question number one already, and we're about to answer question number two coming up right after this intro. Welcome back on another video on the Big Shot Heard Music YouTube channel. This is Billy here, CEO and founder of Big Shot Beats. And right before we get started, I want to do a little bit of housekeeping over here. So we are helping music artists, if you're a rapper or singer, to get ahead with some knowledge, some strategies, some tips and tricks on music marketing in the music industry business. And we're doing weekly song reviews on the channel so that we can help you to give you a little bit of exposure and an extra ear for the music that you are so passionate about making. All right. So if that's something that you want to get aligned with and you want to be a part of this, don't forget to subscribe to the channel by hitting the subscribe button and hit the bell icon so that you can get instant notifications for when we roll out some new content on here every single week, every Tuesdays and Fridays. All right. And on Fridays, what we do is we do live song reviews. All right. And we also have a community attached to the channel where you can join, connect, mastermind, collaborate, and network with other music artists. But it's also where you're going to find the dedicated post that I put on there every Thursday so that you can drop the link to one song for the live song reviews that happens on the following day, which is usually every single Friday evening. So to do that, make sure that you join the community by going to this link right here. It's also in the comments and the description box surrounding this video so that you can access the community so that you can join. We are growing and I want you to be a part of the journey as well as we're moving forward and growing as musician. All right. So with that said, let's get into the subject for today. So it's four music industry questions that are answered by Taylor Swift's former manager, Rick Barker. All right. And of course, if you go to this video, we answered question number one. So if you haven't watched part one of this mini series that we're doing on here, you can always go back and watch it. So today we are answering question number two. Question number one was, a lot of artists over time ask me, what do I do if I don't have the budget or my financial situation doesn't allow me to really grow as a music artist? We answered that question on number one with Rick Barker. So today we're going to talk about networking, and artists are saying, a lot of artists over time ask me, man, I don't have enough contacts. I don't know how to network. How do I go about that if I don't have enough contacts and stuff like that? Well, that's exactly what we are answering today. So I'm going to queue up the video because it's pre-recorded. Rick Barker is somebody that I personally met, and we were recording something of value to you so that you can take notes, grab some of the knowledge on there and implement it with what you're doing. And I'm going to queue up the video right now.
Number two, bring up what number two was again.
Number two is networking or not having the right connection, which means,
you and I didn't know each other. We knew of
Yeah.
each other because of the internet. We networked without knowing each other because of social media, because of our Instagram pages, because of my podcast, because of the things that you do. And then we went to an event where the right people were hanging out. And that's where we got to meet more like-minded individuals like Gabe and Chris Greenwood and Adrian and those guys. So you need to then go where you can meet these people. And if you physically can't, hell, right now we can't fly, we can't go to a hotel, but there are summits that are online. Music Entrepreneur Club will have things that are online. We're both members of that. I pay my $9.99 a month, to be a member of that. And I'm able to network with DJ Payne One and Dame and Kato and all these guys. So you just got to go where your people are at, whether it be a Facebook group, whether follow somebody on Instagram, whether you're watching my YouTube channel or your YouTube channel or BusyWorks YouTube channel or Ill Factors Beat Academy. I mean, there's so many places that you can go meet people. The problem is that no one's taught you guys how to properly network. So what you do is you hit my DM with a YouTube link or a SoundCloud link with no introduction. You don't tell me what it is that you want. You assume that I'm going to figure it out on my own. And you guys are just flooding people in the industry looking for our approval, looking for us to anoint you or bless you or tell you that you're good enough. That kind of falls into number 4, what you were talking about. Is the thing is that you're not good enough until you are. Yeah. No one started off with an audience. No one woke up great. There's very few of those little prodigies. You know, they all had to learn something. But the confidence is don't put things out there to be judged until it's ready to be judged. A lot of times you guys are putting stuff out there before it's right. And no one's rushing you and no one's forcing you. So I really want you to focus on your craft. I want you to do a lot of things in secret. I want you to do a lot of things in the lab, as we call it. You know, go try a bunch of stuff. And then once you get it and you got something you feel good about, share it with some people around you. See if they kind of feel it. Make sure they're not the people that are just going to BS you and tell you how great you are. I always use that story being on American Idol, is that somebody would come up and they would sing and they were terrible. And the judges were like, man, that wasn't good. And the look on these people's faces, it's like, that's the first time anyone's ever told them that they weren't good. And the whole world just saw how terrible they were.
Yeah.
So don't surround yourself. Get some people, you know, get into some of these free Facebook groups where you can get critiques from other people, but be careful. And I'll tell you what to be careful of. Don't get too many industry people's feedback, because you'll constantly be changing things. What Billy hears may be different than what I hear. So you're trying to make it happy so Rick likes it. And then Billy may hear it and he may not like it. So you're trying to tweak it so that Billy will like it. And you're no closer than you were before. So just be very careful. Feel good about it yourself first. That will help you build up confidence. But if you're trying to practice in the eyes of the public, the internet can be a very dangerous place, because anyone can hide behind a keyboard and talk smack. I mean, I put out so much quality material and people be like, yo, bro, lay off the cocaine. You got those bags under your eyes. Look how much heroin this guy's doing. And I'm like, I just paid a bunch of money to get you this solid information, and you want to talk about my Portuguese bags. I mean, shit, I've been sober for 28 years. I can't help how I look, you know? But you can take that, by the way, and have fun with it. So the first time I started running Facebook ads, I'd been so excited. I thought everyone was going to like me. Everyone's going to be like, woo, you're the man. That wasn't it at all. There's always those trolls out there that just talk smack. So I walked into a Mac store and did an Instagram live of this girl putting makeup on. And my next Facebook ad said, can you tell if I'm wearing eye makeup or not? You know, so then everybody pushed the play button I made fun of the fact of that. So the thing too is that if you know in your heart that you're putting out the best that you could put out at that time, and people just aren't digging it, it's just not quite good enough yet. And that's okay. It's like striking out, you know, strike out, strike out, strike out. Then you start learning to read the pitches, and then you start knocking them out of the park. It's going to take time. Too often you guys are judging yourself based on where you see someone else, saying, well, that's where I should be. No, you don't know their journey. You don't know their struggle. You're only seeing their victories. You don't get to see all the losses that they had going into that. So I really want you guys to focus on being the best you. Don't be the best anyone else. Don't be the next Drake. Be the first you. Don't be the next Kendrick Lamar. Exactly. We already have Kendrick. We already have Drake. We already have Chance. We already have all those guys. Post Malone. We already have him. You know, be the first you, but be the best you. When you go to present yourself, make sure that you're spot on, because here's the thing. It's real easy to look professional, but most of you don't take the time to do that. It's real easy to not take some goofy picture and take a better. I mean, my iPhone right now has a 4K camera. I can shoot great video. I can shoot portrait pictures. I can shoot everything I need to run my businesses right here on this phone.
Oh yeah.
Put quality out there and you'll attract the right people. If you put crap out there, you're going to attract crap. And that's not what any of you want. And that's where most of you get beat up emotionally, is because you're putting things out too early and it's not quite where it needs to be. Because what you think is that you're competing with the next guy that doesn't have a record deal. When you put your music out in the world, you're competing with everyone that's already on the playlist. You're competing with everyone else who's already on the internet doing what they're doing. So that's why it's important And that's why I admire people like yourself that will create these beats that sound just as good as anything out on the radio and say, hey, go put your top line on it. Go put your melody on it. Go out there and represent you. You guys all have the ability to look pro and sound pro, but you're looking for shortcuts. And you're thinking that some person is going to magically make that happen. That talks about you with management. You know, most of you don't have anything to manage yet. What you need to realize is you are your first record company, your first publishing company. Speaking of that, most of you don't know how to get your music registered properly. And I'm not talking about copyrights. I'm talking about registering your music properly so that we know who to pay. And when I say we, it's like when you put it out there, you know, if you're from Canada, go to SOCAN. If you're in the United States, ASCAP, BMI. If you're in Europe, just find whoever the performance rights organization is in your area and make sure that you get your music registered so that they know who to pay. And if you're using CD Baby, TuneCore, DistroKid, Ditto Music, any of those distributors, they'll also help you get your music registered properly. But don't put it out there until it can be paid, until you can be paid. Even if you're using SoundCloud and it's free and you don't have a distributor, go to songtrust.com. That's SONGTRUST.com and download their free publishing guide. And it will explain everything that you need to know about publishing and getting paid in the 21st century as a 21st century musician. But you don't need a manager to do all that stuff for you. Those are things that you're supposed to be doing yourself. What a good manager is going to do, and this is what I do in my business, is I manage a lot of artists all over the world, is strategy, big picture, goal setting, accountability, making sure that you're staying on task, making sure that you're not putting yourself out there before you're ready, making sure that if a door just got opened, that you're prepared to walk through that door. You can get those services without having some manager show up and find you. You may have to go out and find that manager first to help you get your business set up to attract another day-to-day manager, which I don't do. I do personal management. Day-to-day is hand-holding, the busy work, the therapy, you know, it's like all that stuff that it just doesn't serve you right now. But you don't have to physically wait for anyone. You can wake up in the morning and think of the idea, create content around the idea, put the idea out into the world and get paid on it without asking anyone's permission. So don't think that you have to wait for an industry person to validate you and tell you that you're good enough.
There you go. There's the answer for question number 2 about networking, having contacts, how to go about, building your way up in the music industry when it comes to who you need to surround yourself with. Hopefully you got some value on that, and make sure that you like this video and that you comment below if this was of value to you. All right. So we are also sharing a free social media training, 42 minutes of pure gems that you can get right now by going to the link in the description box that I left for you. That's a training that Reed Barker allowed me to share with you, and it's completely free, complimentary to you if you want to learn how to grow your social media and starting to attract those people and grow your contact list, so that when you put your best of the best uniqueness out there with your music, so that you can have, some people listen to your stuff, start to build your network, because your network is going to equal your net worth. And it's really important that over time you build those relationships so that you can have the right people listen to your music, so that you can go ways. All right. So with that said, do me a quick favor and share this video with somebody else that needed to hear these answers. And of course, answer number 1 is right here. This is the answer for number 2 by a good friend of mine that is the former manager of Taylor Swift. We all know who Taylor Swift is, major pop star. Rick Barker was her former manager, and we get some gems from him. So this was, the answer number 2. And on the next video, we're going to answer number 3, and then we're going to end up with number 4. So with that said, don't forget, I'm helping artists grow. Okay, if you're a rapper or singer, with some knowledge, strategies, tips, and tricks on music marketing, music industry. So don't forget to subscribe if that's something that you want to be a part of and that you want to tune into. And we also do weekly song reviews for the music that you're so passionate about making. So make sure that you join the community by going to the link right here, and by also going inside of the community so that we can get the link to one song every single week for review. And you don't want to miss out on the live reviews to get a little bit of exposure and extra ear to listen to your music and get some constructive feedback on what you're passionate about making, which is music. So with that said, I'm going to sound out now. This was Billy here from Big Shot Beats for the Big Shot Heard Music YouTube channel over here. And yeah, the next video is going to be the live song review. And then it's going to be part 3 of this little mini series over here. All right. See y'all. God bless.